We've all been there. You're ready to dive into Copilot, but your files are scattered like confetti after a parade. You've got folders from 2010, permissions that make no sense, and a team that's afraid to touch anything for fear of breaking it. Hi, I'm Rynd, and this is the 1001 Business Problems Solved with Microsoft Teams podcast. Today's episode is the long-awaited step-by-step tutorial for organizing your information so Copilot can actually help you. Let's get started. Imagine your file system is like the unorganized garage we've talked about for a couple weeks now. It's like someone dumped a bunch of boxes in the middle of the floor and walked away. You can't find anything, and you're not sure who's allowed to open which box. Our goal today is to turn that chaos into a streamlined operation, like a modern logistics hub where everything has a place and everyone knows what they're allowed to touch. And per our theme lately, Copilot can work its magic because everything is orderly. Now, if you're a business owner, executive, or manager, you may be delegating this operation, but I think it's still important that you at least listen to the steps so you'll know how this process will make the task much less overwhelming. Get a feel for the process, then delegate as needed. Step 1. Review your folders and files. Start by looking at what you've got. Prioritize the files and folders you're wanting to organize. Don't worry about cleaning everything up, just know what's important and cleanup can wait. Step 2. Determine permissions needs. Permissions have been a pain for decades. But here's the good news. When you move files into a team site, permissions are automatically set based on the team member's roster. That means no more guessing who can see what. Just make sure each folder or drive is intended for the single workgroup roster that applies to the team site. Step 3. Create team sites for workgroups. If a group collaborates on files, they need a team site. If they just access files without collaborating on the processes associated with those files, you'll probably just use a SharePoint document library. You won't have a need for all the additional infrastructure that comes with a full-blown team site. For mixed permission files, like policies that some employees will edit and others just read, use a document library too. Team sites are great for collaboration, but document libraries give you the right amount of control without excess clutter. Step 4. Build a Z-Archive channel. In each team site, create a channel called Z-Archive. The Z keeps it at the bottom of the list of channels. Move your entire folder hierarchy into this channel. Yes, even the junk. You've got plenty of storage room with your team's licensing, and this gets everything into the right place with the right permissions. Don't change the folder structure. Just move it as is. That way, your team won't be confused. They'll recognize the layout as soon as they open the Files tab in that team site. That's it for stage number 1. Now your files are in Teams and your permissions are set. That's a huge win. Any new files for that workgroup go into the Teams site, and you're done worrying about who can access what. Here's a word of caution, however. You're working in the cloud, and big moves can cause issues. Always write down how many folders and files are in the source location. After moving, double-check the quantity in the destination. I prefer copying and pasting instead of cutting, just in case something goes wrong. Once you're sure everything's moved, delete or hide the originals to avoid version confusion. Stage 2, the surgical phase. This is where you move files into their final homes, the appropriate channels in each team site. Channel names matter. Try to get them right the first time to avoid future rework. Think of this as your fresh start. So, step 1 of this second phase is to create your channels wisely. Channels are like top-level folders in a shared drive, but they're more powerful. They're super folders that will eventually support much more than just file storage. Today, since we're talking about files only, we'll have to save the discussion about the rest of channel goodness for later, however. Project sites might use channels for each phase of the project. Most team sites should use channels that match the group's core processes, however. Fewer channels mean less sprawl and easier navigation, but build as many as you need to divide your information and communications into reasonable chunks. The next step is adding subfolders in those channels. If your folder structure is deep, consider moving to a separate document library in the future, one where you can build in metadata columns. That's a bit too much for today, but for now, just know that if you have many levels of folders, Metadata is always a much cleaner way to organize things, and your employees will appreciate eliminating all the clicking. For now, however, it's okay to keep multiple levels. Just don't forget to learn about metadata in SharePoint document libraries for future improvement. I can't remember if I've covered that in the past, but if not, I need to get on that. It's awesome. Oh, and that's the archive channel? Just leave it there because it's a great place for those files that don't have an appropriate channel to go to, and it can hold all those files that you don't think you need but are too scared to delete. Again, you have lots of storage available in Teams, so just leave them there to set your mind at ease. And that's it for today's tutorial. You've got a roadmap for organizing your files and setting up Teams so Copilot can do its job more effectively. If you work your way through these steps, even if it's only one team at a time, you'll find that Copilot does a much more thorough dig for you. Your employees will thank you as well. Until next week, this is Annie, signing off once again. Let me know how it goes.